playoff race is heating up in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship, and tonight a big 3 points on the line as Loudoun United welcome the Charleston Battery, presented by Servpro. Happy to have you with us this evening on ESPN Plus. Alongside Ryan Davis, I'm Joe Malfa. These two teams coming into this game in very different bits of form, in different parts of the standings, but both with similar goals in mind tonight. Charleston sitting in second. The form has been rocky. Loudoun sitting in 10th. The form has been very positive. And Ryan, it's really started to just come over the last couple of weeks for Loudoun United.
It's the type of wins too. 2 clean sheets back-to-back, one on the road to Indy, and then giving their fans their first taste of victory at home in Segra Field. That feel-good feeling, Joe, is going to trickle over tonight this weekend.
Feel-good feeling coming out of the results, but this is a little bit bittersweet because big news that just broke today. Leading scorer Thor Olferson was shipped out from Loudoun. It's a massive move for the club. It was reported as a 6-figure deal. He was going to Iceland's top flight, but it does leave them in a bit of a pickle. 10 goals in 21 games this season.
I love all the goals, what all the chances created. He also leads this team in chances created as well. He gets second ball opportunities to players around him. He does so much dirty work, Joe. That's going to leave a mark.
It's going to leave a spotlight more on Abdelatif Abukora as well. He missed the early portion of this season injured. He started to heat up as of late, and he's tied for the club record with 25 goals.
He's one of the strongest dribblers in this league. He runs downhill. Defenders bounce off of him. That means he creates space for other players. He's going to have to step up against a younger forward partner tonight. Let's see how that works out.
And it's a very difficult test tonight against this Charleston Battery team for Loudoun United.
Yeah, after coming up that 5-0 win, though, the thing is for Charleston, if they don't concede early and they start to get into the game, then it's all over. Charleston gets their groove, lights out. However, if they do concede, what we've seen in July, then it's all problems for them on their end.
Now, these two teams have met twice already this year, once in the regular season and once in Prinksteyer's USL Cup play. Both of those games won by the Charleston Battery. So Loudoun hoping to keep their momentum going and get some revenge tonight. It's Loudoun and Charleston next on ESPN Plus.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
To take flight here. It's Loudoun and Charleston presented by Segra. You can fly over. You're not too far from the Air and Space Museum. How about this to begin your Saturday evening in the USL Championship? With the starting lineups for both these teams, beginning with the visiting Charleston Battery presented by VSI.
I love Messer. He's going to go up against Pacifique, otherwise known as Wazi, on that left-hand side, otherwise right-hand side for Loudoun. Cabrera, the tricky Colombian, he's going to create space for Berry in the middle. Berry is what we call a volume shooter in this league. He always makes himself available, does all the dirty work, and of course Ikaza, that box-to-box midfielder, joining 3 up top.
On the other side for Loudoun United, your first look at the group without Thor Olfersson again, just dealt away today for a six-figure haul to the first division of Iceland as Eddie Davis, who's newly acquired, we'll get to in a moment, taking his spot.
Mazzaferro is in incredible form, so to Akinyodi, but Awuwa is the man, the myth on that left-hand side to partner at Nyangaberry. He's going to give them that natural width. Let's go back to Davis. All these spaces on the backside of Charleston's defense when they do press up. He's one of the quickest in this league, Davis. We're going to see him use that pace tonight, and Abakura is just the man to provide service to him.
You had to get the sense maybe something was up for Loudoun United. Yesterday, Eddie Davis was announced on loan from the Philadelphia Union, and it was one of those moves where you sort of scratched your head a little bit. He's a fantastic player, but it was a question of, all right, how does he fit in? Is there an injury that we don't know of? Because there wasn't a natural spot for him to start. And then you wake up this morning and you see the news that Thor Olfersson is transferred to Iceland. And what was maybe going to be a process of easing Eddie Davis in turns into him starting right away tonight. And we'll see how quickly he can get acquainted with his new teammates. Fantastic player in his own right. 23 goals in 70 games the last couple of years in MLS Next Pro with the Philadelphia Union, an organization known for pumping out terrific young talent. So he will slot right in. We'll see how quickly he can combine with the likes of Abdelatif Abukora. Robert Vince, the referee, waiting for him to send us on our way. It'll be Loudoun left to right in the blue, Charleston right to left in the red and black. Third time these teams are meeting in all competitions this season. 2 Charleston wins. Loudoun looking for revenge, and we're underway. From Segra Field, happy to have you with us on ESPN Plus alongside Ryan Davis. I'm Joe Malfa.
All right, what uniform is Loudoun wearing?
You know, I was going to address the elephant in the room at some point. We'll get there right away. This one fed through, though, near Davis, looking for a quick start with his new club. Yeah, it's not often you see Loudoun at home as the team not wearing red, black, and white. So you have to adjust your eyes to it a little bit. Forgive us if we mess it up at some point. All
right, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. Those red, black, and white shirts.
There you go.
I'm mouth-watering here. I want to go buy one of those Charleston kits after this match.
Okay, so not only might one of us tonight accidentally slip and call Charleston Loudoun because of this just chicanery, you actually might accidentally call them the Soca Warriors.
Yes,
well, we'll see.
correct.
We'll see. So it's Charleston in the red and black all the way back for Luis Zamudio.
You know, talking to Ben Perman before this match, we asked him, well, what is it going to be like on the road against this informed Loudoun team? He's like, what? We're going to play our exact same way on the road or at home. We're going to try to possess and press high.
Here's Davis. They press high. Davis could find some space. Richie Amon curling it through. He's been lively this season as a rookie for Loudoun on loan from DC United.
Tell you what, this Charleston team, the #1 most productive team in the USL, passes into the box, conversion rate at 21%. There is no way that Loudoun can blink tonight, especially after this Charleston team just won 5-0 against Brooklyn. They're starting to get their groove back.
Pahomov wide. Sean Suber gliding forward. Last year, the lockdown center back for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Probably should have been in the minds of some, and that includes me, the defender of the year in USL Championship. And this year now, the way things have worked out for Charleston, some shuffling on the back line, has floated out as a right back. Gives him a different look. Bounces through favorably for Barry, and it's brought back for a handball. Seemed like one of those moments where Vince was just going to let it go if the ball went to Loudoun, but after it went to Barry in a shooting position, as you mentioned, a volume shooter, had to call it.
Yeah, he wasn't looking to pass, by the way. He just automatically snapped that leg and took a shot on goal. And it's exactly what you want from a centre forward.
Spoke at length this week with Anthony Limbrick, Loudoun head coach.
He's fun, isn't he?
He's delightful, and it's better when you're winning, of course. 2 wins in the last 3 and trending in the right direction. It was just interesting hearing him sort of preface the rest of the season for a coach who's new to the league in his first season in the championship. He knows his history, and he alluded to the fact that we know that it's how teams finish in this league, and he feels they're peaking now at the time you want to be peaking, and they could be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, it's the beauty of the league, right? It's this long marathon, and you have these little matchups throughout the league. Tonight is one of those matchups again. They're only 3 points off the pace of getting into a playoff spot. This is huge for Loudoun. Their fans could feel it, the players can feel it, and of course, the coach felt it.
A lot of intriguing matchups around the horn tonight in the USL Championship. Tackle put in by Akinyodi. You've got matchups that mean things in the standings, and you also have 3 championship rematches from the last half-decade. You've got Orange County and Tampa Bay, you've got Louisville and San Antonio, and you've got Colorado Springs and Rhode Island. So it's an interesting schedule quirk tonight where 3 of the last 5 title games in the USL Championship rematches tonight.
Smack dab in the middle of the season. You have to love it.
Kelly. Charleston, part of one of those championships the last few years themselves, losing to Phoenix a couple of years back. Hoping to get back to that promised land. Now it's Abukora in space. Abdelatif Abukora off the post! They missed him early this season when he was nursing an injury. He's back, he's healthy, it's his 8th start. He has 4 goals in the previous 7, and he nearly knocks another.
But the runs by Davis and Amon were the perfect decoys. Abukora was trying to pull the trigger to slip something through. He never saw an actual window, and he's so full of confidence right now. His technique is spot on, almost from the bottom corner.
The deal today that sent Thor Olfersson to Iceland for a reported 6 figures, it's really the model that Loudoun is trying to embody now, to be that type of club that brings in players, that develops them, that sells them off, and that's business. It's similar to, now obviously on different scales, it's similar to what Ajax has been in the Netherlands. It's similar to what Borussia Dortmund has been in Germany. It's something that teams around the world have done, and Loudoun envisions that being the case. I say that all because Thor Olfersson was the first. Abdelatif Abukora feels like the next. He was supposed to go in the offseason. The injury kept him back, and it was a case of, hey, if he comes back, finds form, can we revisit that in the offseason? Enjoy him while he's here, because if he stays healthy, it feels like he's got it at the end of the season.
But here's a touchy subject, though. Promotion and relegation, which is looming, roots out all that sort of thinking when it's time to play in the championship. Once you get to the big dance, if you're going to play in that sort of fashion, prepare to go back down.
Yes and no, because what you fetch for Thor Olfersson today and what you could fetch for Abdelatif Abukora at the end of the season, all reports indicate maybe Belgium is where he's heading. That can now turn into 3 or 4 starters with your budget. So yeah, I guess it does work both ways, but you hate to see a player like that go. But enjoy him while he's here, and he's on display right now. Here's Barry.
Oh,
well done. James Murphy wins it cleanly. On the same page, though, as Abukora, and given right back.
Yeah, you sent a midfield duo of Murphy and I believe it's
Mazzaferro in there with him today. Yep.
Yeah, he moved up there. That 2 right in front there forms a box in front of the 18-yard box, and it's so important for this Loudoun team to control that middle area. That defensive third right in the middle area, it forms a nice box of 4, and that allows Pacifique to go up on the right-hand side. It also allows Awuwa to go up on the left, while if the play breaks down, that back 4 can hold things down.
Kelly. Nathan Messer, finalist for Defender of the Year in USL League One last year, coming up a division from Portland Hearts of Pine. Barry looking for it. Awuwa gave it right back. Pahomov. Wide to Suber, deflected, and it'll be the first corner of the night.
Well, he's running downhill, like we said at the beginning of the broadcast. He has Amon on his left, and he has Davis to his right. He doesn't see the window, and boy, oh boy, I think the keeper got a touch to it onto the post. Let's take a look. Yes, he did. What a save that is. Fantastic sub.
Had 11 goals in 15 starts last season. Abdelatif Abukora. Now 25 goals in his Loudoun career, tied for the club record. Narrowly missing earning it himself in that moment. Sure, he'll have plenty of opportunity the rest of the evening.
Well, one of the problems for Loudoun before this little streak was conceding goals off of set pieces. They've started to clean that up.
Messer, poor service.
It's not going to be too hard to concede if you have a service like that.
No.
You know, one of the interesting things about this Charleston team, Joe, is their ability to share the goals. 13 different league scorers. I mean, they don't get pigeonholed in any one area of the field. Their ability to switch the sides so quickly, switch the point of attack, and then when players do get some daylight, they have the ability, like Foster, well, Swan, who's not here today, Barry, all of them are legitimate goal scorers in this league, and they're all contributing with the Kaza as well in midfield.
Colton Swan one of a couple of players in the USL Championship away right now at the CONCACAF Under-20 Championships, playing for the United States. They're in the final against Mexico. It's coming up this weekend. Colton Swan hasn't found the net yet, but Brendan Days has. The center back from Louisville City has scored twice on set pieces for the United States in big moments as well.
So you have a quote on Swan and Coach Perman, who's he's so gracious on these calls, gave us all the information we needed before the games, and lovely, lovely character. But the quote on Swan thing you just mentioned, going back to the Ulfason, Akinyode, does he now fit into that sort of area for Charleston? Where you groom him and then move him along to MLS, maybe?
It could be beyond MLS. There's been some rumors for him as well, as far as Europe coming calling, and I think that's part of USL carving out this niche, that pathway. We've seen it time and again over the last few years, right?
Yeah.
Roster rules are different at the other level at MLS. It's easier for players to go from the USL Championship to Europe, and we've seen it in years past, and that's led to an influx of talent in this league. Nathan Messer now looking through. Flag will stay down, but for a moment, it seemed like he knew Jeremy Kelly because he slowed down his run.
But this Charleston team, building out to the back, they're all ball handlers. Messer just creeps inside, gets the better of Nyangaberi. That's that matchup we were talking to at the beginning of the broadcast. And Kelly just couldn't hold his run, headline offside.
There was an argument, though, you saw from Miguel Berry. Jeremy Kelly stopped his run because Malik Foster was going to get to that ball off the right side, and he was in an onside position.
Good point.
That's what the argument was from there. Now the flag comes up here this time on Torres, but that's a shout that Charleston has on that last play. He tried to leave that ball, Kelly, for Foster to take.
And as you know, FIFA has begged referees to just hold off on that call, let the play out, and then make a decision. And I think he's having a discussion as well.
Of course, when VAR is in the question as well, which is not here, when VAR is in the question, you leave it, you let play out because you can always go back and look at it. You don't necessarily have to do that in these moments because there is no VAR. Your call is your call. But in those instances, you should still delay and let the play end up playing out. Messer. Pahomov. Elsewhere, Pittsburgh is hosting Sacramento Republic. That one important perhaps for Charleston. If Pittsburgh were to win tonight and Charleston were to lose, there'd be a point only separating those two teams as they're battling for the top 4 spots and a home playoff game. And then on the lower end of the playoff places right now, Miami currently 0-0. They have just taken the field. That's one of the teams Loudoun's chasing. The immediate team they're chasing is Indy, who play tomorrow. But as those teams in 6th, 7th, and 8th place play, you're hoping, if you're Loudoun, that all of them continue to drop points. So you're looking at more than one team that you can possibly catch.
You know, we talked to Coach Perman, we just saw on the screen a little while ago about not having such a good away record. He talked about the parity in this league, how hard it is now to go into away stadiums and get a point or 3. He said every team now is so competitive.
Something's got to give, though, because Loudoun have not been a good home team this year.
No. But they've drawn 9, I believe, of their games. They're so hard to separate.
An interesting conversation with Annalie Limprick about just that, where if you take a 9-game span, if you tie all 9 games, it's 9 points. If you go 3 wins, 6 losses, it's still 9 points, but the feeling about it is so different. 9 ties means you're right there. 3 and 6 means you're a losing team. So it's frustrating right now, the ties, but it's giving them the confidence to know that they're close, and these last couple of games indicate that. Now it's Torres delivering.
And that gives us, I'm going to keep harping on this, it really is the beauty of the league because it allows us to have all these talking points, to see a team have its ebbs and its flows, to see a team use its entire roster. Everybody has to step up because of injuries and suspensions and international call-ups, and allows us to see who's the best team in the league. It really does play out. No one can fake it for 30 games.
Charleston largely controlling this one so far. Best opportunity, though, belongs to Loudoun. Belatif Abukora hitting the post. It's still the only shot taken in the game so far. Torres now. Christian Torres. And he wins a corner. First corner of the night for Loudoun. Corner is brought to you by Mosquito Nicks.
Well, this is not good. Christian Torres was one of those players that were on the line of whether to play tonight or not because of a knock. Looks like he went down here and he's staying down. There was no contact, and that is the worst injuries in this sport when there's no contact.
And he's the player who missed time early in the season due to injury. There was a stretch. Thorolferson, Abdelatif Abukora, Christian Torres, the list goes on and on. Players that were missing due to injury for Loudoun. That's why, again, there was so much hope in this for Anthony Limbrick and crew that it would turn around. They were earning all those draws and competing with top teams in that span while they were missing guys. Slowly but surely, guys have gotten back healthy. And now, you've got this that you're dealing with, which doesn't look promising right now. Thorolferson dealt away by their own doing, but Eddie Davis comes in to replace him. It's going to take him a little bit of time to get going. It just feels in the back of your mind, you know, Loudoun finally clicked,
yes,
and the results have come, and now these things pile back up, and will they be able to actually make the most of this momentum? Tune in August 12th for the Prince Tires USL Cup quarterfinals. After 4 rounds of interleague play, 6 championship and 2 League One clubs remain alive as the knockout rounds begin. Catch all the action Wednesday, August 12th, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+.
And Torres is just one of those versatile players that plugs holes for coaches. Yes, he plays in midfield. He can pick up his defensive responsibilities. He can drift out wide and create for others. You just don't want to see this player with all these different tools end up back on the bench.
And this doesn't look good right now.
No, he's
all over his face, wincing.
Oof.
It looks like it's going to be a capable, more than capable replacement. Veteran Pedro Santos has just been called over from the substitutes area and is getting ready.
May not be too bad. As great as Charleston is of pressuring the midfield, outworking Loudoun sometimes, a player like Santos is so hard to dispossess. He can finagle his way through the press and then find space for someone like Davis on the back end or in that free space behind the back line.
The longtime veteran of MLS and the captain of this team, Pedro Santos, from the corner now, whipped in, loose in front at the near post. Charleston gets away with it and want to break out. Wilmer Cabrera on an island right now, trying to weave his way through, but Akinyoti puts in a good challenge.
Well, he's one of the best in the business, Akinyoti, and he just corral the player right into his avenue. And when you run into him, it's like running into a wall.
Abukora. Homov read it well. Zamudio dispatches. Luis Zamudio spent a year at Loudoun back in 2022, and then 2 years with DC United.
Well, they start to usher the player inside. See how they corral it to Akinyoti. He's nowhere else to go but go through the big man. And Akinyoti should be equipped with lights and a horn.
And that substitution now confirmed, brought to you by Segra. Santos in, and the injured Christian Torres off. Difficult one to deal with for Loudoun. A very capable, experienced replacement who, depending on the day, is the starter in that position.
Well, you hate to see it. He just came back from injury. There were questions about him starting. Now he's on the sidelines. Now he's definitely going to be out for a little while. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV, Joe.
Well, Barry, he wants to see a card for that challenge. He'll get a free kick, but no card.
Well, the battle in this match is going to be won and lost in midfield, and you love the intensity coming in on Berry. It definitely was a foul, but that intensity from Erlandson is exactly what you want from your coach, as a coach, from your player. I always like the left footer, bringing it very close to the keeper and have traffic run across. I love the instance here for left footer. Hopefully they decide that as well.
See if it is Nathan Messer or if it's Jeremy Kelly with the right foot. It is Messer.
You get the point. It was the right idea. just had to be held back just a little bit more.
All the way back. Smith. Pardon me, Kelly dropping in deep on that back line. He's the last man back after the corner. Leaves it for Apinonu. Now Smith.
I do love how fluid this Charleston team is. So Cabrera was just on the right-hand side. We saw him get stopped by Akinyode. Now he's over on the left-hand side trying to find space. Love that how the coaches allow their players to drift in and out in that front three.
Another free kick coming now for the Charleston Battery. Will it be Messer again, this time with an outswinger? Or will they stick with the in-swinger? Kelly this time, if that's the case. Messer, outswinger to the back post. And it's out for a goal kick.
Good delivery. I mean, Suba was right on the doorstep. And he put it right on top of that 6-yard box, curling away from the keeper. Good defending though. I can't harp on this enough. It is so important for Loudoun at home not to concede against this Charleston team. Charleston has 7-0 when scoring first. And this Loudoun team, their goals in conceding is usually around the 25-minute mark. Right now we're at the 20th minute. They need to see out this first half and keep it all tight in that last 45 minutes against a very, very good Charleston team, let's be honest.
And they've done well against very good teams.
Yes.
They tied Tampa Bay 1-1 recently and have a couple of wins around that. They have gone up against the best this season. They have tied Louisville City. They have tied Tampa Bay. They haven't gotten this Charleston team, though. Again, 2-1 loss at home in Brinks Tires Cup and a 4-1 loss on the road in regular season play.
They're now starting to get into that part of the half where people start to lose concentration. And that's when they start to concede. You really have to just bear down, keep focus, and see out the half. Oh, what a ball.
Davis trying to camp under it. Took an awkward bounce, and that's something for a player in his debut with Loudoun. It's a very interesting, slow-moving turf here at Segra Field. Reading those bounces for Eddie Davis might take a little bit of time.
Yeah, we see some players, even Loudoun players at home who has played on this pitch all season long, struggle with the bounce of the pitch and sometimes losing their footing. So yeah, Eddie Davis has a lot to learn in the next few matches at home.
Ikaza thought about clipping it through. Malik Foster was making the run. Haven't called his name yet, Malik Foster. He's calling for it again. Kelly. Foster again making the run. Ball goes wide instead. Suber. Ikaza on the turn. Kelly. Ikaza wanted it back. Gets it back off the ricochet. Ikaza. Pahomov thinking about it. Kirill Pahomov. That would have been interesting had it not been blocked on the way in.
Well, the Russian is filling in for Kisiedo, and he's going to have to try and at least create chances or try to get a goal for himself. That was all laces, all technique. Tell you what, Ethan Bandre will be very relieved his defender got a touch to it.
Nathan Messer again stands over it. Messer, good service. Akinyode It's in the nick of time. Pahoma was unmarked, top of the sixth, ready to smash that home.
Second consecutive delivery from Messer. That's been teasing for the defense. If Charleston can get one of those set pieces to go in on the road, had such a horrible July, and get back on track in August, set pieces are key for teams who are not in form. Yes, they got the 5-0 against Brooklyn, but before that was a horror story.
Cabrera. Kelly. Jeremy Kelly, 27-year-old in his first season with Charleston, but familiar with Ben Pearman. Time in Memphis back in 2022 and 2023.
But as much as I say great service by Messer and Charleston look dangerous, what about Loudoun though? Their ability to win duels in the air?
And that was something that Anthony Limbrick talked about. We asked him what needs to change, what needs to tighten up for this team if they're going to actually make a push for the playoffs and contend in the playoffs. He said, guys, this could be a boring answer and one that maybe you don't like, but we just have to be better at the simple things. And what he meant by that is the basics, winning duels, to your point, in the air and not turning the ball over. He feels those little plays in the margins add up, and for the talent this team has, and now the health they've finally found, that was coming into the game before they lost Christian Torres a quarter of an hour in tonight. Those little things would add up. If they do those things and take care of those things, everything else would take care of itself. Tonight, they've won a lot of the duels, but they've been a little bit careless and loose with the ball.
Yeah, their victory last week against Hartford was impressive, but one of these standout statistics was the 65% of winning duels, and that allowed them to keep a clean sheet and put the pressure back on Hartford.
And in that moment there, Santos goes in strong, wins that ball, wins that duel, and draws a yellow. Nathan Messer into the book.
Well, he's a wily old veteran, Santos. Steps right in, picks the pocket, and now Messer is just grabbing for shirts, pants, socks, anything to get to, because that counter-attack would have left Messer left for dead on this left-hand side.
Yellow card brought to you by Continental Cards. That takes us into a hydration break here in Leesburg. Remind you what's at stake here in terms of the standings in this game. These two teams needing it for very different reasons. Charleston coming into the night in second. They've got to start winning games, otherwise that gap is going to be insurmountable with the Tampa Bay Rowdies pacing things right now. And then Loudoun sitting in 10th, a win plus an Indy loss, and Loudoun could poke their nose above the line. But you've also got Miami and Rhode Island that are within touching distance as well, 4 points away. Miami's playing right now against Vegas. Rhode Island plays later against Colorado Springs.
And also the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they're starting to find their way back in the winning column after a win in Oakland last week. If they can get a win tonight, guess what? They're all the way up to 29, a point off of Charleston, if Charleston get left with nothing tonight. But Loudoun United, we talk about those little wins, just getting into the playoff discussion propels the locker room to the next match. That's why this win at home tonight is so big. I know it's a grand, big story, but it's that little paragraph in the middle of the story, like tonight, can have a big impact.
And we talked to Ben Pearman, too, about the psychology aspect for Charleston Battery. They've sort of been in this spot year in, year out. It's different how it feels right now because they haven't been as good as they've been the last couple of years by their own standards, but still in second place. Within all of that, last year was another year where they were fantastic, but they couldn't get to first because Louisville just kept winning and they could not catch them no matter what they did. And they were just in this sort of no man's land of we can't catch Louisville, but nobody else can catch us. And it almost let some complacency set in. They lost in the first round of the playoffs against Detroit City. If there's a silver lining in this right now for Charleston, maybe they can't get to Tampa Bay. If Tampa Bay keeps taking care of business, maybe they can. Maybe Tampa Bay has a drought in them coming, 3-4 game spell. Things change quickly in this league. But even if they do not have an ability to get to Tampa Bay, at least there's a battle beneath them right now. There's 3 or 4 teams, Detroit City, Louisville City, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, maybe another team can step up. So they're at least being chased. And being chased forces you to raise your level. And that's something that didn't exist last year, where they were stuck in no man's land. They were like 6 to 8 points behind Lou City, while they were 6 to 8 points above the next group of teams. This year, they are at least in a chase, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4, and that'll push them down the stretch.
Footsteps getting louder and louder, and when the dressing room starts to hear the footsteps, the standard usually raises.
Kelly, Foster, awkward touch, but kept it alive. Poor ball. Ben Pearman said he didn't really have many good nights of sleep in July when they went winless in the month, but coming out of that, Again, that's the communication of the group. Hey, we had that month. We're still okay. Fortunately, things went well around us that after a winless July, we're still in second place. So it's frustrating that maybe they could have been right there with Tampa right now had they not dropped points the way they did in July. But all things considered, still in a good spot, and now just have to make the most of it. Ahead for Davis. Eddie Davis drops it back. Pedro Santos tried to sneak it near post on Zamudio. No dice.
First time we get to see Davis with a little bit of daylight, and you can see he's one of those players, I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to take any, I don't want to make a mistake. Let's keep it simple. So I'm going to drag it back to Dos Santos, but you really want to have him have a go at the defender, but you do understand his first look in his first match at home, he takes his time and do the conservative thing. That's okay. We haven't talked about Ikaza much in this match. The box-to-box midfielder, he's the engine for this Charleston team. He really has to get on the ball and partner up with Palmov to try and finagle through the middle and then release the ball out wide to Foster and Cabrera.
Yeah, this team goes as Ikaza goes in the midfield. He's got 6 goals this season, much of that from the penalty spot. He's their designated taker. And it's those moments there. He feeds it wide for Suber. You think you're going to spring something with Ikaza as the focal point of it. Take your eye off of it, lose the ball, and now it's back to Loudoun. Nyangabire. Nyangabire shielding it off. Flies under the radar, but the work that Nyangabire and Kwame Awua have done on the outsides on that back line for Loudoun this season, terrific stuff. 2 very dependable veterans now.
You can understand Coach Limbrick just being a little bit antsy after losing Torres in the midfield here. This Charleston team has taken the game by the scruff. They haven't created the chances to show for it, but they've taken the midfield in hand in the last 15 minutes. 25 entries now into the final third compared to Loudoun's 12. It just shows that they're really starting to impose their will and starting to pin Loudoun back in their own half. And if Charleston starts to find their rhythm, everybody starts to get a little bit more confident, everybody starts to find their rhythm, they become very, very hard to keep in front of.
Taking that a step further, though, for the 26 final third entries they have now, 1 touch in the box. Make that 2 touches in the box. Kelly brings it down, lays it off. Ikaza had it blocked. Kelly, Messer. So for as much as they've been getting in the final third, they hadn't been doing that. They hadn't found the incisive ball, the dangerous moment in the box until now.
Give Loudoun credit. They threw blue shirts in and around the ball. They crowded out Charleston. But Charleston, like we said, starting to find their rhythm, starting to gain confidence. And those line-splitting balls are going to become more and more prevalent as they gain control of the midfield. Now, for Loudoun, you saw a huge pack of blue shirts inside the box. That's a result of them getting pinned back by Charleston. That means there are no avenues here to release the ball because they're so far in their own half. There it is, picked off.
Oh, good touch by Kelly. Tried to turn for Foster. Jeremy Kelly is starting to come to life and ignite this battery attack. 2 goals and 5 assists this season for Kelly. He's largely been provider rather than goal scorer.
Great ball in. Look at this touch though by Kelly. Got the better Pacifique, but look at the blue shirts protecting Bandre. I mean, they are so committed defensively, Loudoun.
Just hearing you say that, the blue shirts protecting Bandre, it's still weird to me that Loudoun is wearing blue tonight and Charleston is wearing the red and white and the black, but alas, here we are. Over the top down that left side, Richie Amon lets it go, cleared by Graham Smith. Abukora dances by, walks the tightrope, and out for a throw.
Again, credit to Loudoun. We talked about their habits of conceding around the 25-minute mark. We're at 33 now. They've held off Charleston. If they can see out the next 12 minutes and get into the second half, get into the locker room, they may be home and dry. But right now, Charleston are really starting to look for that first strike.
Nyangabire is looking for Davis. Crashing Santos. He won it. Murphy back to Santos. And that one cleared out for a corner. Second corner of the night for Loudoun. Brought to you by Mosquito Nix.
This is a Loudoun United corner kick presented by Mosquito Nix.
Well, now is an opportunity for Akinyori and company to get up into the 18-yard box, try and get a goal. It's so important for centre-backs to take the pressure off the forwards and try and get a goal or two throughout the season.
From the corner, looking back post. Akinyori tried the acrobatic.
Well, they looked for him, Akinyori. Went to the last post. Good delivery by Santos. Just he couldn't get the technique, Akinyori. He did. Was it left foot? Was it right foot? He wasn't sure. But it gives Loudoun a chance now to press. The fact that now Charleston has to get the ball deep out of their own half.
Nyangabire as well, shielding it and fouled.
What a luxury to have someone like Pacifica Nyangabire, who is usually in number 10 when he played out in Australia, now playing at right wing back or right midfield with that sort of ball handling ability to get the ball out of tight spaces at right back. Almost like a Trent Alexander-Arnold.
And it was on display the last couple of years for the Rowdies, and Tampa Bay, in what was a poor season for them last year, a bright spot. And before that in 2024, when they were still in better shape, he was a big reason why.
Yeah, they were sworn to either the 3-5-2 or the 3-4-3 for a number of years. And when they bought Nyangabire, it was for that specific role in mind. And he bought into the role.
Ethan Bondre works it along for Jacob Erlandson, another one of those players who was on that list of the injured guys for Loudoun the first half of the season. But the last few weeks, he's come back in. He's stabilized things defensively. Pahomov to no one in particular. Richie Amen, haven't called his name hardly at all in this game. Outside of Abukora, maybe the most dangerous player on the field for Loudoun, but it's for his creativity and not necessarily the goal-scoring punch. Richie Amen, here he is. Advantage played. Amen, oh, that's one that they would have liked to have had the advantage still. To be fair to the referee, Robert Vince, he had turned his back and didn't realize the switch was on.
But Charleston are trying to be aggressive, but Pacifica Nyangabire and Amon linking up. And look at the switch right here, Joe. Just like you said, referee turned his back on it, but Nyangabire wins the battle. So too Amon, actually Murphy. And Amon was trying to make the switch. And the referee's up against it because we saw a similar scenario with the offside call, I believe, in the first 15 minutes. Where there was a chance.
It's 1-1 then, because that was against Charleston, where you could have had Malik Foster coming in behind.
Correct.
And now this one here against Loudoun. So it offsets, but you certainly, if you're Loudoun, would have rather have had that ball switched out wide and the numbers advantage that was materializing. He was looking to play advantage, Robert Vince, but as it slowed down, and a couple of seconds passed by. He blew it dead. He didn't see the run was coming up from Kwame Owuah. In any event, the free kick now from Santos. A poor one. Akinyoni rescues it somewhat. Owuah ends the threat with his mistouch.
Oh, beautiful.
Eamon, overlap Akinyoni, floats it on the volley. Santos, that would have been magnificent.
Well, this is where Eamon is his most dangerous. He's such a positive player. Youngerberry comes all the way back. He starts the attack and he almost just finishes it. He links up with Eamon here. Now, Eamon starts to drive at players. Look at Youngerberry over his shoulder. Bang. And when you get to the last post, either you drag it back or loft it to the last post. This time he dragged it back, and Santos is going to want that one back.
Would have gone down as one of the best goal-scoring sequences. Not necessarily for any moment in particular. The volley would have been terrific, but the ball through Akinyoni's chip, everything about that. Slack the finish. Now the other way, Cabrera cutting in, leaving it through for Foster, taken away instead by Kelly as those two seem to miscommunicate. Game opening up a bit, and that's going to be yellow as well.
Starting to see a little bit of a pattern here for Loudoun. Now the ebbs and flows of the game are changing. Charleston was dominating for the last 15 minutes. Now for the last 5 minutes, Loudoun starting to break up plays and starting to transition. Malik Foster had to come all the way back. A professional foul on Santos. He's now carded. And you can see the tide just changing towards the direction of the home side. All of Charleston's attacking prowess and all of their possession never really led to a big chance. It kept Loudoun into the game. Loudoun grew in confidence defensively. Now they're starting to read the plays defensively, anticipate the passes, break up the plays, and now have room to play in.
Abakora. That yellow card was brought to you by Continental Cards. Now it's Pacific Nyangabere.
Oh,
did well, though, to hold strong Nathan Messer and poke that left foot out. Dinked through. And that run was coming from, of all people, coming from the left back position.
I mean, he pops up everywhere. He's like a mole on a golf course. Anywhere you look, he's going to pop up, and that's what makes him so dangerous. Coach Pearman was calling his name specifically in our call of how good he is coming from that left back region.
Akinyoni. Murphy. Erlinson. Possession really starting to shift over the last few minutes, as you alluded to. Loudoun starting to feel it a bit. You wonder if the hydration break and any tweaks made during that time had an impact, as we saw at the World Cup this summer. Games drastically shifting in those moments, coaches making adjustments. Now it's the Nyangabere, tried to get it for Davis. Santos there pressing Messer.
I don't think Pacifique saw Santos coming over his right shoulder. That would have been the perfect pass to release the veteran. But Messer, you have to give him credit. It was 1 against 2, and he won that battle.
Trying to keep the pressure up now and lock Charleston in. Long throw from Apinonu.
Ah, beautiful.
Apinonu.
Charleston get out of that sequence, Joe. But Loudoun has been disrupting their rhythm over the last 10 minutes. And it's starting to show with the expected goal count. They're starting to catch up to Charleston. It's now 0.22 to 0.27.
Neither of those particularly good totals, to
No.
be fair, but
No, but it's a victory for Loudoun in that regard.
And the best individual chance of the night still, that Abdelatif Abukora shot in the opening few minutes that hit the post. Zamudio. Messer turns. He lays it off. Suber. Malik Foster turns. Foster in behind. Foster still. Good tackle put in by Sal Mazzaferro. It's a corner for the Battery. Could have been worse.
Well, talk about a defender in form. Mazzaferro has been lights out the last 2 matches with those clean sheets. Stays right on Malik Foster's hip pocket and prevents the cross, prevents the service. That's going to get your coach off the bench and excited.
Messer another chance to deliver.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes.
4 minutes of stoppage in this first half.
4 minutes.
Messer whips one in, some venom on it. Barry. Still Messer delivering again. Kelly. One last bite at the apple. Oversails everybody. Should have been a clearance moment there for Loudoun, but given away by Nyanga Barry. Barry has it. Foster. Panonu. Emilio Ikaza. Very patient Charleston, waiting for the moment to pounce. Could be numbers now for Loudoun. Rolled through for Abukora in space. Davis making the run. Rolled the other way to Awua. Kwame Awua was offside. Right as he was set to cut it back for Eamon and Davis, one or the other.
We were just talking about how good Charleston were in being patient and moving the ball left to right and in tight spots. But here comes Loudoun again, breaking up that rhythm, anticipating the pass coming back inside, pickpocketing Kelly. And boy, oh boy, actually Berry, not Kelly. The counter-attack, and Awuwa just a hairline offside again. That took the wind out of the sails for that Loudoun counter-attack. What a blistering attack it was, though.
Cabrera. Trying to wriggle his way through. Sneaks it back for Messer. Now Kelly.
Oh.
Kelly through. Foster. Well defended again by Erlinson. Now Erlinson riding it out. Oh, he touched it though. And now it's still in play. Out for a Charleston throw.
But yet again, Erlandson, Akinyori, and Mazafero, 3 centre-backs in form, anticipating, using their body, calm as can be.
Abakora bending one ahead. Davis gets there. Flash some of that speed. Davis looking for support. Switches for Awua. Could be one last look in this first half for Loudoun. Awua, Abakora. Eamon took himself out of it, thought he was offside, so Awua keeps it going. Eamon. Awua. 4 minutes now come and gone. Have to make a move, otherwise that whistle might blow. Pacific Nyangabire, and that should do it for this first half. There is the whistle, 0-0 through 45 minutes. Very intriguing start to this one. Very cagey, to say the least, between Loudoun and Charleston.
Yeah, Charleston bossing the midfield with 60% possession, but I tell you what, this Loudoun team really made it hard for them. They stepped up into the avenues, anticipated the pass coming into the final third, and started to break up the rhythm of Charleston, got some counter-attacks of their own, and made this half very interesting.
No, we started the night with the flyover. Air and Space Museum not too far away. Unfortunately, that was maybe the most interesting part of this first 45 minutes. These two teams not wanting to give an inch with 3 massive points on the line. Will things open up more in the second half? We'll see. The way these two teams play, you figure it will open up a bit in the second 45. Halftime score brought to you by Sagra. It's 0-0 between Loudoun and Charleston.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
Halftime brought to you by Segra. It's 0-0 between Loudoun and Charleston. So much going on right now around USL Championship, not just in league play, but also in Brinkstyre's USL Cup play. 6 USL Championship teams, 2 League One teams. Charlotte will be hosting Hartford and Spokane hosting Colorado Springs. Then you've got San Antonio and Miami, but the marquee matchup is Tampa Bay and Louisville. They played a 5-4 classic last week. They will meet again this Wednesday in the Brinkstyre's USL Cup quarterfinal. There's also a lot of other things going on right now in the USL ecosystem. League Two, W League, you name it, we've got it covered.
Only 2 teams remain. Tonight, it all comes down to this. The Twin City Bucks, Vermont Green FC. 1 match, 1 championship. Oh, and it goes in! Ball comes in off that green keg. Headed back across! And Flint City equalized in the 64th. The biggest moment here of the Vermont Green season. And Vermont Green have taken a 2-1 lead off a penalty shot conversion. And there it is. Vermont Green have won the USL League Two national final back-to-back. Let's go Green! Morgan onto a right foot, rolls it in! It takes a bounce. First time shot, it's in! The Vermont Green have equalized!
USL All Access on SiriusXM FC every Tuesday night. Devin Kerr, Mike Watts, we've got all the news around the championship.
This series is a dead heat. This is the one we've talked about since the end of May.
We'll recap weekly results, talk about player transactions, coaching tactics, and hey, maybe even a guest appearance by some interviews.
Who knows? SiriusXM FC every Tuesday night and the following day on the USL YouTube page and the SiriusXM app.
¡Espectacular! Hay mucha fiesta, señor Martino. Hay sed de revancha, doctor. Pero falta gol. Necesitamos esperar a un gol. ¿Hugo Sánchez?
Sí, tira para adelante.
¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? ¡Súbete! ¡Llegamos por fin! ¡Ay, bendito sea el chofer, doctor! Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Vas al norte! A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso. ¡Listo, vamos!
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
It is time for the USL halftime update in the championship. Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with the headlines. The Tampa Bay Rowdies staged their improbable 5-4 comeback victory over Louisville City last weekend, with all 5 goals happening in the second half. Now, believe it or not, that's the third time the Rowdies have pulled off that feat since joining USL, the most in championship history. Orange County SC made its grand return to Championship Stadium with a 2-0 win over El Paso Locomotive, its first league match at home since late April before the World Cup began. OC played 9 consecutive league games away from home, including a neutral site home match, winding up on top of the table in the Western Conference. On Wednesday the 12th, it's the Prinks Tires USL Cup quarterfinals. USL will perform its test run of football video support, allowing coaches 2 requests for video review of 4 areas: goal or no goal, penalty or no penalty, direct red card, and mistaken identity of a yellow or red card. Upcoming national spotlight games, all on CBS Sports Network. Omaha hosts Richmond on the 16th, Phoenix Rising in Colorado Springs on the 19th. That game is also on 2DN, and then Orange County FC Tulsa on the 22nd. This is the USL halftime update. Let's get you back out to your match.
Halftime brought to you by Segra. It's scoreless between Loudoun and Charleston. That's been a theme around the USL Championship tonight. We'll get there in a second, but first a reminder of the standings coming into the weekend in Week 23. You had Charleston in this game, 8 points adrift of Tampa Bay, but look at the battle behind them. 2 points clear of Detroit City, 3 of Louisville City, and 4 clear of Pittsburgh. Those teams battling for spots 2, 3, and 4. All home playoff game slots, and Loudoun sitting in 10th just below the line. Everything tight right now, not quite as tight as the West, but still very tight in the East. So you thought maybe some unraveling would happen. Well, not yet. It has been a slow Saturday. There has been one goal on this Saturday, but it's an impactful goal in the Eastern Conference. It's Vegas on the road leading Miami 1-0. The Miami team that Loudoun here in this one is hoping falters in this game. And you've got Pittsburgh, Sacramento 0-0, Lexington, Phoenix 0-0, a rematch of the final in 2024, Rhode Island Switchbacks, that's 0-0. Legion and Brooklyn, they're postponed because of weather, and yet they're not missing out because there's been no goals anywhere else. So we'll see if the second half of this game and the others brings more than the first did. Half number 2 between Loudoun and Charleston is on the way. Score 0-0, brought to you by Segra.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
I guess we're technically starting both halves with a flyover. This isn't quite what we saw pregame. That's Air Portugal. Have fun in Ibiza, people. Loudoun, Charleston 0-0 through 45 minutes. Score brought to you by Segra. A look back at highlights from half number 1. In a 0-0 game, to be fair, there were moments, and early on, Abukora could have opened the scoring.
Yeah, full of confidence, driving down the middle. He had 2 dummy runners, and Armand and Davis went for the shot himself. He's so full of confidence. But what a save by Zamido to keep that one off the post.
And then it was Charleston who started to find their moments midway through the half.
Kelly brings it down, but look at Blue Shirts blocking Bandry's path. I mean, they're so committed defensively, but that's because Charleston has been pinning them back. What a touch away, by the way, by Kelly. But Blue Shirts are there to protect the goalkeeper and to keep this thing at 0-0.
And you were wondering at some point, would Loudoun retake control of the half? Eventually they would.
Pacifique comes all the way from the right to the left to link up with Amon. He starts to run a play up. Pacifique gets it back, and Wazi swings it back for Dos Santos. Boy, oh boy, would he want that one back. I know it was kind of tough, Joe, but at this level, at his level, he knew he could do better with that.
And that really set the tone for Loudoun. They controlled the last few minutes of that half, possession, creating chances, and generating some fine moments. But Malik Foster reminding everybody after about 44 minutes that, hey, all it takes is one moment for him. He's quick, he's dangerous with the ball, and he nearly did something here.
But it also reminds us about Marcel Ferro, Akin Yodi, and Iralsan, how much form that they have right now. And everything is sound as a pound, as you say, back there in Loudoun.
5 shots to 3 in Loudoun's favor. Slight possession edge to Charleston. Even statistically, our eyes told us that through 45 minutes as well.
Yeah, but the 5 shots to 3 to Charleston, for Loudoun rather, I think is very encouraging for Coach Limbrick and company. They are taking that 40% chance that they have possession and creating something, getting shots off, which is encouraging for the players.
Ready to begin half number 2. Charleston left to right in the red, black, and white. Loudoun right to left in the blue. Alongside Ryan Davis, I'm Joe Malfa. Happy to have you with us on this Saturday evening in the USL Championship. And away we go in half number 2. Big story of the day here in Loudoun was Thor Olfersson being transferred to the first division of Iceland. A reported 6-figure deal. Eddie Davis yesterday announced on loan from Philadelphia Union over to Loudoun. Sort of raised some eyebrows. And now we know why, as Olfersson was transferred out today. Here's Davis, immediately thrust into a starting role. Abukora really pulled to the ground. The referee has let a lot go in this game. And Ryan, there's a fine line between letting players play and also just making some incorrect decisions. He had a very difficult first half, Robert Vince.
Yeah, and he had a good look there as well. He was right on top of Akinyode. But I want to talk about Akinyode's ability to hold the ball under duress. Such a skillful player. We talked about how strong he is. Just shrugs off challenges and shrugs off weight as well.
Santos, who subbed in that first half for the injured Christian Torres, playing it ahead. Oh, cut back, shout for a penalty there from Loudoun. Robert Vince waves it off. He had a conversation with his assistant referee, who might have had a better vantage point.
But again, this Loudoun team continuing where they left off from the first half. That was another line-splitting pass. It was penetrative. Nyangaberry decided to cut back instead of crossing. Not sure how much contact he got there. But again, asking the question against this Charleston team and this Loudoun team's confidence. All right, let's see. Foul or no foul? Survey says Pacific drives it back.
No foul.
Yeah, I wouldn't give that. Let's see this angle here. Trailing leg.
Nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, he came in cleanly, Messer, and Nyangabiri, as he tried for that little jump stop cutback, he realized he wasn't going to get there, and he just sort of fell into Messer.
Yes, there was some contact, and I know how replays look. They can look pretty bad, but within the context of the game, I think it was right on point by the referee.
Pahomov quiet in that first half in the midfield with Ikaza not combining as much as they typically do. Now Suber. Apanonu. Try the left side through Messer. Messer delivering. First time that I can recall Bondre having to handle the ball.
Speaking about Ethan Bondre, talk about the ultimate professional. Keepers have come and gone. Jordan Farr being one of them, the latest one. And Ethan Bondre has just stepped right back into the post, done his duty, done a great job. And now guessing nod yet again tonight.
Veteran keeper now, promising originally early in his career with Sporting Kansas City in that organization. And for a team that has had different keepers in, as you mentioned, on loan, for a goalkeeper to have a job, lose a job, have a job, lose a job, for a position where it's always tough being a keeper because there's only one of you. If you've got 4 left backs on a team, well, between injury and between one of them converting to right back or one of them converting up to being a winger and sub within the game, they're all going to eat at some point. But barring injury or red card, goalkeepers aren't going to eat.
Yeah.
And Bondre has had to wait his turn a couple of times, but whenever he's been asked to be between the pipes, he's been a consummate pro and delivered for Loudoun.
And it's exactly like the centre-back position. It's all about rhythm, timing, and positioning.
Abukora now. Davis to his left. Abdelatif Abukora feeding it through. Eddie Davis, save made. Rebound, it's Amen. Saved again off the line. Apanonu dropping to a knee to keep it out. Murphy. Nyangabire. To the end line, floated through by Santos and cleared. Apanonu might have outdid his goalkeeper there. Good initial left-handed save by Zamudio.
Akinyode is so positive, but Joe, don't hate me for this. He took too long to release, which means it ran out of the angle for Davis. Excellent stop on the line to prevent Amon, but Akinyode should have just released it just a hairline before, and then he'll be in on goal.
What a dream that would have been for Davis, scoring on debut for the club. Abakora dropped it in as you expect him to. And Richie Amon saved off the line. He's in the right place at the right time, Richie Amon. Almost his second goal of the season. Here he is again. 4 assists to his name. That's more what he's known for. Reigning national champion Washington Huskies, powered by Richie Amon. Awua looking end line for Amon, ran out of room.
So last week, one of the secrets of their success was to win the midfield, mano or mano. Now we've seen Akinyode starting to step into that midfield to help out Murphy and Dos Santos. They are winning the midfield. Ikaza and Poman are left wanting in that center circle, which is allowing Abakura and Amon chances and with room to play with Davis.
And we've talked throughout the evening about the injuries this season, especially in the first half of the year, and how they plagued Loudoun. Not just players missing, but the knock-on effect. Bo Akinyode, one of those, he had to play as a center back while they were missing Erlinson and others on that back line. Now you get Erlinson back. Now Mazzaferro is back. And within a game, Akinyode and Mazzaferro will alternate a bit. One will go, one will stay. But for the large portion of the game, it's Akinyode stepping up into the midfield. And that just creates a whole different dynamic because that's where he is best suited to play instead of just being retrofitted as a center back because of necessity.
Yeah, he's such a cog in midfield. He has great feet, first and foremost. He reads the game, secondly. And then lastly, his size.
Pahomov pushing it through. Barry lost it. Amon picks it up. Richie Amon.
Oh, try.
Pahomov on the turn, looking through. It's Wilmer Cabrera. Well defended.
I've gotten a chance to see Mazzaferro play now for the last 2 weekends, and he hasn't put a wrong step yet. And we're about 100 minutes into the 2 matches now. Absolutely impressive by the number 5.
Amon. Charleston 2-6-1 on the road. It's been an issue for them this season despite being in second. Loudoun 1-2-7 at home. 7 draws on this field. Something's got to give, you feel like, here. Whether it's Loudoun finally stepping up with a home win against a big team, or it's Charleston producing a result on the road that has really been the only weakness for this team this season. If they have even been average in terms of their results on the road this year, they might be in first over the Rowdies. That's how dominant they've been at home. It just hasn't translated on the road. Abakora cutting in. You had asked Ben Pierman point blank, and we had a good chuckle. He said, yeah, if I knew the answer to that question, we probably wouldn't be sitting in second place right now. Oh, play on, says Vince. Going for goal. It's saved by Zamudio. Players were expecting the foul call against Akinyode. Zamudio was alert.
Well, he had a blind in the first half against Abakura to tip it onto the post. Bolu, of course, wins it. And what a save again by Zamudio. Gets a fingertip to it. Davis almost lights up his debut with a goal in the jet nest.
And that's a clear foul on Akinyode, as we've talked about. There's no other way around that. He yanked him down from behind, but refereeing decision aside, Ryan, at this point, the players have to be alert to the way this game is being called. And if you're Charleston, you can't fall asleep in that moment.
No, I mean, credit to Loudoun. They just continued playing. You have to play to the whistle, of course. We all learned that in under 14.
Under 8, really?
I was a little bit stubborn under 14.
A Mosquito Nick's corner comes of this for Loudoun. That was part of the conversation, though, with Ben Pierman about their road records. Sometimes on the road, away from home, they switch off in moments, and it nearly happened again. Santos delivers. Ahead for Nyangabire. Shout for a handball there, and not given. It was another chat between Vince and the assistant referee. He just gave him the thumbs up. Let's see.
All depends if his hand is in a
hits the right arm, not the left arm, and the right arm is tucked. I'm good with that no call.
Correct. If it did hit the left, then he was extending his
Correct.
arm to make himself large. That would be a penalty. Clearly, the assistant referee on the far side didn't see anything wrong.
And without VAR, call made. It was a call that stands, and it was the right call from these officials.
What a pass.
This has been a terrific first 10 minutes of the second half for Loudoun. Only thing it doesn't have yet is a goal. Nyangabiri trying to change that. Messer cuts it off.
Oh. Now the problem with Charleston giving up the ball right now they're back on the ropes. Now they're going to get pinned yet again. And there's nowhere to go.
Malik Foster so deep, just trying to find the release valve to the middle. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
To your point. Murphy opens up, has space, takes it. Santos. Did see a few minutes ago, remember, Eddie Davis cramping up a bit. 55 minutes come and gone, getting into the territory where subs may play in for these two teams. Akinyoti this time called for a foul. And now some changes. That'll be all for Nathan Messer. And for Wilmer Cabrera, a pair of changes for the visitors. Douglas Martinez and Langston Blackstock into the match. This is going to change a lot, actually, for the Charleston Battery. Substitutions brought to you by Segra. They'd been in a 4-back with Sean Suber playing somewhat out of position as a right back, but you bring on 2 wing backs. Langston Blackstock, typically a left wing back, and Douglas Martinez, typically a right wing back. With Graham Smith, Apinonu, and Sean Suber still out there, indicates a shift into a back 3 for Charleston. So Ben Pierman not liking what he's seeing these first 10 minutes and looking to shake things up a bit. Barry rolling it along. Foster, overlap from Martinez. Foster delivers.
Good delivery, though. Oh. Yeah, maybe he's trying to match Awua and Wazi on either side, because the 3 centre-back situation for Loudoun, with Akinyoti stepping into midfield and then stepping back into that centre-back position. Maybe he wants to match up the midfield now. Exactly that. He wants to mirror what Loudoun is doing formation-wise.
So there's your first chess move from Ben Pierman. How will Anthony Limbrick counter? Remember, he had to burn a sub in the first half for the injured Christian Torres with Pedro Santos coming on. Marcos Diaz is back healthy. Dangerous piece in the attack for Loudoun. Could see him at some point. Aaron Super has been a patrolling pace in the midfield. We'll see what direction Anthony Limbrick ends up going.
You know, just to give you an idea of how positive this Loudoun team has started in the second half, they were only at 40% at the end of 45 minutes. Now, in the second half alone, 58% possession and more final entries than Charleston, of course, with that possession.
Also have Georgi Lomtadze, who also came in from Monterey Bay yesterday when they announced the Eddie Davis move. Lomtadze came in. He's also available on the bench. Could be an attacking piece in the mix for Loudoun. See which way Limbrick goes in the next few minutes or so, you'd figure.
Yeah, especially if Davis continues to cramp up, that's for sure.
And he is. He just hobbled after he reached for that ball, reaching back down for his hamstring and calf. He has been battling these cramps. Foster. Smith. Foster. Apanonu. Sean Suber has moved from right back as an out-and-out right back to now the left-sided center back in this back three. Smith. Taking his space, scanning for his options. Smith feeding it to Martinez. Douglas Martinez scuffed it.
Tell you what, great stuff by Charleston, though, to continue to be patient. They missed a few windows to thread the ball through. And Loudoun being so compact and disciplined. It's a trademark of theirs in the last two matches, in which they've kept 2 clean sheets back to back.
Blackstock delivering. A touch to it from Bondre.
Well, with the 2 wing backs coming on as subs, even though Loudoun are staying compact defensively, it does give them some natural width for Blackstock and company to get the balls into the middle.
And it will be one new acquisition for another. Georgi Lomtadze, who just came over from Monterey Bay, will replace Eddie Davis. That's not like for like, though. So somebody else will step up. Will it be Abukoro just going a line higher? Subs brought to you by Segra.
Lomtadze, Monterey Bay. I tell you what, from what we heard from him, he's a very much a number 10 type player. Coming off the wing, excellent technical ability. Certainly doesn't have Davis's pace.
It's Richie Amon who's floated as the tip of the spear now for Loudoun. Interesting. Not a natural 9 by any means. But with the transfer out of Thor Olferson and newly acquired Eddie Davis, who is cramping up, have to get creative. That's a dangerous challenge put in by Lomtadze. On the field for not even a minute and into the book.
Well, he's starting to try and find his footing, trying to find the pace of the game. And Lomtadze, what a clumsy challenge that was. Talk about going right through Douglas Martinez, who has just said hello as he just walked onto the pitch as well.
Still haven't seen much from elsewhere. Showed you the scores at halftime. Lexington up 1-0 on Phoenix. All the other games that were scoreless are still scoreless. Louisville City and San Antonio has kicked off, and Lou City's up 1-0 inside of 20 minutes. Two of the 3 title game rematches that we're seeing this weekend underway. The last to kick off will be Orange County and Tampa Bay later tonight. Martinez. Good look through for Douglas Martinez. What can he do with it now? Martinez feeding it in. Oh, that's brilliant. One substitute to another. Blackstock finishes. Battery lead.
Charleston Battery goal scored in the 64th minute.
Half the saves come in with his substitutes now. Now they have natural width with the wing backs, and Douglas puts it on a platter for Martinez. What a move by Ben Perman, changing his formation, having 2 wide players come on to get around this compact Loudoun team, who've now just sat back on Ethan Bandre. And with Douglas having time to pick out his man, made no mistake. And what a finish by Martinez. And dare I say, if they score first, they are 7 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses.
Perfect this season. Langston Blackstock nets the goal from Douglas Martinez. One substitute to another. Ben Pierman is one of the most modest coaches you'll meet in this league, but there's got to be a part of him that's smiling and feels good as the manager when you make those subs and they combine for a goal.
Oh my, pat yourself on the back, Mr. Pierman. What a change that was. It actually changed the complexion of the game because the last 5 minutes, they were building towards a goal.
Second of the season for Blackstock. He brings that same modesty to his shoe game, Ben Pearman. Closet is terrific. But I hope he celebrates that decision for now. He'll probably celebrate it if they go on to win.
Yeah.
He won't care much about that decision if they don't take all 3 points now on the road. For a team that has struggled so mightily on the road this year, the Battery. And so far, it's another one of those games for Loudoun where they're one of those nearly teams. And being a nearly team is more frustrating at times than being a bad team. 9 draws. This game against the second place team have controlled large portions of it with chances, nearly, but not there. And now trailing 1-0.
And they don't have their star forward, Ufuson. So now they have to look to Amon, who's playing center forward, who's not a center forward, and a player making his debut for the club, Namatsi.
Crowd stayed in it after the goal. Trying to will Loudoun back into it. Can they double down, though? Charleston, not here. Cleared by Nyangabire.
Now, because of the width in the last 5 to 10 minutes with the change, now it's opening up space in the middle of the park now for Charleston. As you can see, they got right down the corridor into Loudoun's back line.
Aua. Carrying still Kwame Aua. Abukora. Can he produce the magic this team needs? We've seen it time and again, but not there.
Superb defending. Abukora in ripping form.
Ikaza fouled, and now got these moments where they can just sort of bleed the clock a little bit.
It was Ikaza before who dispossessed Abukura, stood him up. And I tell you what, this Charleston team, after Loudoun owned the first 55, let's say 10 minutes of the second half, they stepped up in the last 8 minutes or so, Charleston, and give credit to them, they earned that 1-0 scoreline after they created a couple chances and started to win back the midfield towards the last 10 minutes of this match.
And it brings us into the hydration break now. Remember out of the hydration break in the first half, Loudoun really surged. So can Anthony Limbrick and crew use this hydration break again to their advantage? We'll see.
Well, I'm going to be the ultimate nerd here. Charleston have been in the top 10, or at least the top 5 in this league, in scoring in the last 15 minutes of matches. They have 10 goals in the last 15 minutes. So Charleston time, if you want to call it, is from that 76-minute mark to the 90th minute mark. So there's more to come, as I would say.
And what they've gotten already is this goal a few moments ago. Douglas Martinez finding lengths in Blackstock. Wing back to wing back. Both had just subbed on about 10 minutes prior by Ben Pearman.
Oh, you have to love width and fresh legs. Look at the time he has. He picks out the player right into his path and a calm finish. The blue shirts are tired. They're all looking for the red and black or white shirts. Can't pick them up. Fatigue sets in. Concentration leaves. 1-0.
Well, they hold it. To your point, they have this year when they've scored first, 7-0-0. Difficult test for Loudoun now.
Yeah, what I'm seeing from Loudoun, they're a little bit out of rhythm up at the top. Akinyode seems to be a little bit tired and fatigued at this point. His star forward, Ulfason, is no longer there. He's off in Iceland somewhere. And now Amon has to go and now play center forward, which he's not. And Nomatsi, who just came in, is just still trying to find his way.
I appreciate how both you and I have gone 69 minutes and not attempted to pronounce the name of Thor Olferson's new team. And we're going to keep it that way, by the way. We both tried. And
did we do it? I wasn't thinking about it. It wasn't a conscious effort at all, no way.
think you and I barely speak this language. I don't know about branching into Icelandic.
I need a vowel to work with, okay? I mean, if there's no vowels in the word, I'm in trouble.
20 minutes plus stoppage remaining. Alongside Ryan Davis, I'm Joe Malfa. Happy to have you with us on ESPN+. Loudoun and Charleston, two teams coming into this game who needed the 3 points for very different reasons. Loudoun looking to get to the playoff line, and with an Indy loss tomorrow, they could have gotten above that playoff line, capitalizing on some recent momentum, 2 wins in the last 3. Charleston trying to keep pace with Tampa Bay. It might be a bridge too far to get up to first, but they can still keep their spot in second. Blackstock, give and go. Langston Blackstock, nearly another. Out for a corner.
Again, fantastic, compact defense by Loudoun. But what do? You go out wide to your wide players. And I tell you what, Blackstock making inroads, and Ethan Bandry at his very best as usual. Let's take our hats off to Bandry. But Blackstock coming in. It was Martinez on the right. Blackstock finished. This time he picks the ball up on the left. All that space to work with. He gets a give and go. And Bandry to the rescue.
From the corner, Kelly finishing up that point from a moment ago. Why second place is still so important for Charleston. They would love nothing more than, if Tampa Bay trips up. As we saw last year, Louisville tripped up, Charleston tripped up, the top 2 seeds. If Tampa Bay were to trip up, then things run through Patriots Point, where Charleston this year are 7-0-2. So even though it hasn't been up to their standards so far, maybe it is a bridge too far to catch Tampa Bay, finishing in second is very important. All it takes is 1 loss from the Rowdies in round 1 or round 2, and the Battery would have home field throughout. Those are things to think of.
What a great plug, Joe, because Tampa Bay Rowdies are playing Orange County, number 1 in the East against number 1 in the West at 10 o'clock tonight on ESPN+. Don't miss it.
And if you're Charleston and you hold on to win this game, you are rooting for a tie in that game. At 1 point that disappears forever. The other 2 teams take 1 each. Well, you took 3 and you gained 2 points on both Orange County and Tampa Bay on the day.
That's some fantastic math.
I almost tripped up. We were getting
really
there. Ikaza. At some point, Loudoun will get more aggressive. And when that comes, that's when you think about Malik Foster and what he can do with some time and space for the Battery. Let's give and go to the midfield. Taje, again, this is a case of a new player on a new team. And he went in awkwardly there. He's already on a yellow from when he first came into the game. Looks like he's going to get away without a second yellow, but he gave the referee something to think about.
Yeah, Smith is asking the question for the second yellow card. Lamtaje, he's a little frustrated. He gave the ball away here. Just lunges in. You understand he wants to make an impression. He wants to show his effort and his grit. But that is a second yellow card, folks. I'm sorry.
They've really flexed the possession again as of late, Charleston, and completely taken control of this game. Second half possession is now 63-37. At what point in like the first 10 minutes or so of this second half, I glanced down and it was 50-50 in the second half. So it is now completely gone the other way, and the Battery with the 1-0 lead would like to keep it this way. Ikaza. Murphy tried to hack him down. They continued. Ball was lost.
Yeah, he's asking the referee, why did you call the free kick after the advantage disappeared? You know, it's a broad statement, but there's no truer statement in this sport. Goals change matches. Now, Charleston has confidence. Charleston now have a little bit of a pep in their step. Charleston has a different formation in which Loudoun is trying to adjust. Loudoun, their star player, is in a different country. Now, they have players playing out of position in the attacking set, down a goal to nil. It is all awkward for Loudoun right now.
Turn to the bench once again. So too will Charleston. They'll bring off Malik Foster. They will opt for some more stability in the form of Chris Allen. Subs brought to you by Segra. On the other side, it'll be James Murphy coming off for Aaron Super. And Marcos Diaz into the match as well. Salmat Zafero taken off, so sacrificing a center back for an extra attacking piece. Subs brought to you by Segra.
Well, Marcos Domingos Diaz is a direct winger with some pace, can get around the sides. And Andres Super, one of those technical midfielders that can supply him some passes.
Quarter of an hour remaining. Langston Blackstock on it, his goal, the only one so far. Elsewhere, Vegas still beating Miami with 12 minutes to go. So Loudoun wouldn't lose any ground on Miami. One of the teams near the playoff line, but it'll be an opportunity wasted to gain ground.
What a tackle, yet again.
Pittsburgh and Sacramento are still 0-0, so Charleston would gain some more separation on the Riverhounds. Abukora. Santos.
Well, younger Berry used to do that for fun when he played out in the Rowdies. He used to bend that ball in between the centre backs and the goalkeeper. His delivery sort of let him down. It's that time of the game where fatigue sets in and players' technical abilities seem to drop. It's the war of attrition for the players now.
Handball given. Tony Kaza. It looked like he was looking upfield into space. Eamon. Back from Awua. Still Richie Eamon. End line feeding it through nearly for Diaz. It's a corner.
Where they overload on this near side. Eamon running at players as usual. Awua, Eamon, boy, have they linked up in this season so far. And look at him crashing into the middle there. That was Diaz coming all the way from right wing to center forward.
Quick from that corner. And another one brought to you by Mosquito Nix.
This is a Loudoun United corner kick, brought to you by Mosquito Nix.
Short corner whipped in. Cleverly done by Loudoun, but didn't quite come off. Awua. Santos scooping it back post. Zamudio comes through with it.
Good ball. Being dangerous, asking the question. But Zamudia has not put a wrong foot or hand today so far. Two incredible saves. We got to talk about one from Davis and one from Abakura, first half and second half. And cross balls are a great test or measurement of a keeper's ability. Well, life in the USL is not easy. And all coaches learn that, so too Anthony Limerick. You can have your first league win one week.
Eamon trying to restore order here. Richie Eamon saved by Zamudio. Rebound, Diaz put wide. That was maybe, to your point from a moment ago, the first hand put wrong by Zamudio, leaving that big rebound for Diaz, but it didn't matter.
He's so direct, Eamon, so confident in his technical ability. He goes left, Sorry, goes right. Everybody's expecting him to go last post. He hooks it back to the first post. So Moody there again, but again, he did push it out to the side, to his credit. So even though Diaz got there was no angle to work with. Here comes that press.
Oh. Yodi, that's disgusting.
That is just playing the game over and over again. On a big pitch, on a small pitch, in a corridor.
Santos. Omeawua lost it. Nice movement through. Diaz almost got there. It's been quicker and crisper from Loudoun the last few minutes again. Trying to find an equalizer. Will they be done in, though, on a counter the other way by Charleston? Nice touch by Ben Pierman to try and spark the attack. Barry wanted to throw it in quickly.
Yeah,
Would have had the hockey assist for Coach.
Coach Pierman right there in his ear saying, easy, easy, big fella. We're up a goal, 9 minutes to go. Take your time. Get back your shape.
Settled by Kelly.
And since the changes of the two wide players, Ikaza has come alive in the last 20 minutes.
Martinez now has an assist already. And it will be a corner for the Charleston Battery.
Ikaza now has some channels to work with. He has some space, some relief now with the two wide players coming in.
Taking his time, Kelly. Kelly drops it in. Oh, loose there for a moment, but cleared. Preparing two last changes now on the side of Charleston. Kelly pings it back. Allen. Montage won it. Ahead for Diaz. Tried to feed Nyangabire out for a throw.
What a touch by Smith. He's been so good in the second half. That's his second, let's see, interception or breaking up a play. That was so necessary when the back line was left short.
Whistle from the referee. Player down behind the play is Abukora.
And he's not happy.
And here are the last two changes now for the Charleston Battery.
Yep, having a bit of a scuffle with Smith. Abukora.
Subs brought to you by Seger. That'll be all for Kelly. Alec Hughes takes his spot. And Husu Landry enters for Pahomov. Here, a bit of a cheer there for Landry. Spent some time at Loudoun. well liked here. Oh, getting a little bit more desperate now. Loudoun looking forward. Eamon will have a throw quickly. He wants to go. He'll leave it instead for Awua. Diash, Nyangabire, clipped in toward Eamon. Comes out for Awua, has the overlap, uses it for Santos to the end line, nudged down by Landry. And it's out for a corner. Or rather, it was over the line already before Landry touched it. Goal kick, excuse me.
Way too easy for Santos. Just a little bit of a touch and he goes flying. Excellent no call from the referee. Right on top of this one. You love the inventiveness, but it was just too soft. And Matazi, though, coming in from the right side with his left foot, is really starting to draw a lot of attention to the Charleston defense, which is opening up players like Diaz, who's on his right shoulder.
Nyangabire. Delivery, looking for somebody to shake free, but Charleston holding strong. For a third road win on the season, Charleston. It's been bleak away from home, getting closer.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes, they're starting to encroach. This Charleston team is starting to get pinned back, just like how Loudoun were pinned back when Charleston finally got their goal.
Remember, coming up this week, August 12th, Prince Tires USL Cup quarterfinals. After 4 rounds of interleague play, 6 championship and 2 League One clubs remain alive as the knockouts begin. Catch all the action starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday on ESPN+. Nabokora, his communication. We had the hydration break, a couple of injuries, figured maybe 4 or 5 minutes is stoppage time. Hasn't been anything too out of the ordinary that would give anything beyond that, you'd think.
Yeah, no actual injuries to speak about. And Charleston have such a ball handling mentality in their camp that they're so good under duress. So even though Loudoun will press to the very end, this team has the ability to get around the press or play through the press. Very comfortable under the stress of a press. That's a heck of a rhyme, yeah? It's like a nursery rhyme.
It was interesting watching you realize in real time that you had just rhymed. Yes. And get excited about it.
That was kind of skillful. Poetic.
The 90th minute at Seger Field. Well, that's a way to seal off a game. Just kick it as far away from your goal as you possibly can. Sometimes simple is best. Super. Santos pulling the strings from deeper in the midfield now. Suber, clean header away and cleared further by Allen. Gainbridge. Going to be 5 additional minutes for Loudoun to find an equalizer. Santos dropping one in. Is that last off of Martinez? No. Goal kick. Into 5 minutes of stoppage time now.
Well, Awuwa and Pacifique Nyangaberry gave them fits in the first half and at the beginning of the second before they made the change of bringing 5 at the back. And that was Awuwa again creeping in on that left-hand side, almost getting behind the back line. Has that mole ability to just pop up. I'm not saying he's a mole. I'm just saying he has the ability of a mole, okay?
Alec Hughes did well to draw that. And in these late stages now, just more time off the clock. They'll be in no hurry to get it back into play, Charleston.
Yep, fresh legs against Santos, who had to come on for Torres' injury just after 15 minutes in this match. And Santos getting a little bit long in the tooth. Yes, doesn't have the ability to play through 90 minutes anymore. Just going to be the last person to get into a challenge right now.
Had a good 40-plus seconds taken off there before the free kick was taken. The victory go the spoils in those moments. The foul goes against Charleston, though. So bailing out Loudoun down in the corner.
Yeah, Landry just came off the pitch. I don't think he has touched the ball yet. That might be his first touch since he's come on. And he doesn't seem to be too comfortable at this moment with the ball on his chest or his feet.
Turf Monster got Omtaje. Ball really wouldn't have helped him either. Landry beating it through. Hughes lets it run by. Akinyode, the intervention. He's fouled by Hughes. Well, I didn't want to go quickly, but referee coming in to check on Akinyode.
I tell you what, it was nasty. It was inadvertent, but the follow through right onto the ankle of Akinyode was not pretty.
Nyangabire. Time slipping away for Loudoun. Has to come. Mosquito Nick's corner might help do the trick now with 2 minutes remaining. Quickly from Lomtadze. Super whips it in. Still loose. Tantalizingly through the 6 and cleared. Flipped over the top by Awuwa. Charleston is just holding strong, denying every advance from Loudoun. Now it's a 3v3. If they could find a second and put this away. Landry. Barry cutting in. Still Barry. The moment's gone. Now can you take it to the corner and run this down? That's what he does, feeding Martinez to the corner flag. It's good, just tactical closing out a game sequence from Charleston. You had a counterattack. Soon as it did not pan out, you take it to the corner, you take more time. And now under a minute remaining.
How good has Martinez been since he's come on, though? Created the only goal. So to Blackstock, the 2 white players that we mentioned.
Blackstock couldn't handle it. Hughes wins the battle. Oh, he's called for the foul. 20 seconds remaining now of the 5 minutes. Loudoun have to get this in play and have to get it forward. Super. Five minutes come and gone. Santos. Akinyoti. Look at the wash from Vinci, and he won't let this attack pan out. It wasn't going anywhere. Whistle goes. Charleston, they shed some of their road woes, and they take it 1-0 against Loudoun United. Man of the match this evening, brought to you by CISO now, as Richie Amon put in a good shift for Loudoun, but it just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, you know, life without Ulfason is not going to be easy for this side, but they put up a heck of a performance defensively for most of the match. Great change by Coach Perman to bring on two wide players. That actually changed the entire complexion of the match in the second half and got Charleston this win on the road. I mean, Coach Limerick is not happy, but I think they were broken at the end in the second half with the change.
A big 3 points for the Battery as they try to close the gap on the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who will have more pressure on them later tonight when they face Orange County. We're back in a moment to wrap things up from Seger Field. Charleston 1, Loudoun 0.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
Loudoun still shaking this one off at home. Good environment. They had come in good form. They felt that this might be the night for their marquee win, but they come up short, falling 1-0 against the Charleston Battery, and it was substitute to substitute on the goal.
Yeah, they changed our 5 at the back. It means 2 wing backs. Martinez picking up Blackstock, 1-0. What a change by Coach Perman. They worked to perfection, and look at the calm finish. And he picked out the pass like a beautiful, just elegant, to give this Charleston team a deserved 1-0, because after the change, they took over the midfield and created the better chances.
One last look at the stats. It's not bad from Loudoun statistically, but they never felt like they had that killer instinct on this night where they were actually threatening for that goal.
Yeah, the 12 shots were mainly from outside the box. They never actually got behind the back line to create a big chance. Possession-wise, they fell short to Charleston again towards the end of the second half, and Charleston really took the game by the scruff towards the end.
Both teams on the road next week. Loudoun will visit Detroit City, and Charleston will visit the reigning champion, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Our broadcast partner Ryan Davis and the crew that makes this possible. I'm Joe Malva saying so long for now as it finishes Charleston 1, Loudoun 0. Stay tuned for more action in the USL Championship this evening elsewhere on ESPN+. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.